Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank the University of Vermont Extension and Vermont Agency of Agriculture, Food and Markets. Thank you for the opportunity given to me. It's my honor to be able to participate in this conference. My name is Misbahkhul Munir. I'm a postdoctoral scholar at the Department of Plant Pathology, University of Kentucky. Dr. Nicole Koche is my supervisor, and I'm working in her lab. Today, I'm going to be talking about disease management in field hemp, especially in Kentucky. So hemp can be infected by a variety of plant pathogens. The fact that plant pathogen can infect hemp from multi different angles, such as from the leaf, from the stem, from the root, makes plant diseases or plant pathogens one of the most important challenge for hemp production. Before we talk about hemp diseases, I would like to start with talking about what a plant disease is. A plant disease is a dynamic process where living or non-living organisms interferes with the normal function of a plant over a period of time. With this definition, plant disease can cause abnormality in plant functions. Also, plant disease can be caused by biotic or abiotic factors. Abiotic factors that can cause plant disease can be fungi. We know fungi are filamentous organisms, and a lot of plant disease are caused by this group of organisms. Another group of organisms that can cause diseases on plants are oomycetes, or also known as water moles. These are basically fungal-like organisms. One difference between oomycete and fungi is on the composition of their cell walls. Oomycete had beta-glucan and cellulose that made of their cell walls, while fungi have chitins that made of their cell walls. Bacteria, which are basically microscopic unicellular organisms. Viruses are particles consist of protein and nucleic acid. Nematodes are basically microscopic worm-like organism, and phytoplasma are basically bacterial-like organisms. One difference between phytoplasma and bacteria is phytoplasma do not have cell wall, while bacteria do have cell wall. Plant health problems can also be caused by abiotic or non-living things or factors, and these are mostly coming from environmental conditions such as nutrient deficiency, toxicity, too much water due to overwaterings, mechanical injury, as well as other improper plant cultivation. Now we know what causes plant disease. Let's talk about how diseases occur. In plant pathology, there is a concept called disease triangles. These concepts basically talk about three important aspects or factors that have to be present in order to a disease to occur. These three aspects include virulence pathogens, the pathogens that have ability to infect, colonize, and cause disease on plants. Susceptible hosts that can be infected or colonized by a pathogen, and in favorable environmental condition. Again, these three aspects have to be present in order to a disease to occur. If one of these three aspects is missing, then disease will not be occurring. Understanding on this concept, on these disease triangles, can be useful for us to guide us in put together some strategies to manage plant disease. On hemp diseases, on hemp disease management, where there is limited information about pathogens, as well as a resistant variety, also limited availability of chemical control options, then we might want to play around much on modifying environmental condition, in which we were going to talk about this again later when we talk about disease management on hemp. So these are some of the diseases on hemp that have been reported in hemp field in Kentucky. I'm not going to be talking about all of them today. I might be able to talk about some of the most important diseases on leaves, a stem, a root, and also some plant pathogens that can cause canker, blight, or wilt on hemp. Let's start with flower disease. So one of the most important flower disease on hemp in Kentucky is Fusarium head blight. This disease affects flower, seed, and bud. As most Kentucky hemp is used for CBD or cannabidiol production, in which bud, flowers, or seeds are the most important component for it. So this disease can be a serious threat for hemp production in Kentucky. Symptom can be necrotic tissue on or dead tissue, like you can see in the picture when the tissue turn brown on the flower seeds or on the sugar leaf. And based on the survey that Dr. Koche's lab has conducted, there are at least 4 Fusarium species associated with these diseases: Fusarium graminearum, Fusarium sporiticoides, Fusarium afaneseum, and Fusarium incarnatum equiseti. Among of these 4 Fusarium species, Fusarium graminearum has been observed to be the most prevalent species associated with this disease. These 4 Fusarium species have also been known as mycotoxin producing species on wheat and corn. So a little bit about the management of this disease. We probably do not want to include wheat and corn as rotational crops with hemp. Okay, and since the utilizations of hemp has been extended for human and animal consumptions, then report of these mycotoxin producing species on hemp have indeed raised concerns for hemp industry. And there is studies going on currently to elaborate more on this disease. We want to determine time of infection, several potential of cultural practices, as well as the detections of mycotoxins that can be produced by these species on hemp. Move on to leaf diseases. We have powdery mildew. This disease is caused by pathogens called Golovinomyces spadiceus. This pathogen is obligate parasite, obligate pathogens. That means that these pathogens requires living tissue to grow and reproduce. Symptom of this disease can be a white colonization, a white colony on the upper surface of the leaf, like you can see in the picture. This disease is very common in hemp in the greenhouse, and this disease can affect plant at all stage. Even though it can rarely kill the plant, this disease can significantly reduce plant growth. So most of the time, infected plant can appear as stunted, and infected leaf can turn brown and ultimately drop or defoliate. Another important leaf disease is Septoria leaf spot. This disease is caused by Septoria cannabis. This pathogen is specific for cannabis. So Septoria here is different with Septoria that infect other plants such as tomato or blackberry. Symptom of this disease can be irregular spots on the leaf, like you can see in the picture, and fungal structures, like black structure, like you can see in the picture. They are actually pycnidia, which is structures that hold conidia of the pathogen spore, can usually be seen on that spot, and the spot is itself were bordered or surrounded by a bright yellow halo. Okay, and this disease can also cause premature leaf defoliation, and this disease is commonly seen in the field in June to July. So this is kind of early season disease when the temperature is still relatively cold in the field. In Fairmont, where the temperature in general may be relatively colder than here in Kentucky, this disease might be common as well in Fairmont hemp field. Next is hemp leaf spot or bipolaris leaf spot. This disease is caused by bipolaris gigantea. This pathogen is primarily infect monocots. So symptom of this disease can be tan to brown spot on the leaf, like you can see in this picture. And there are some fungal structures usually can be seen on that spot, like you can see in this picture. These black structures are actually conidiophore of the pathogens. Conidiophore itself are a structure or stalks that hold this pathogen spore. Okay, this disease is usually seen in the field in mid to late July, and when the temperature is starting to get higher in the field. Okay. Next is Cercospora leaf spot. This disease is caused by Cercospora flagellaris. Symptom of this disease can be asymmetrical spot on the leaf, like you can see in this picture. And these spots were bordered by purple border or purple halo. This purple border is caused by the toxin that produced by these pathogens called cercosporin. Cercosporin is the toxin that's toxic for the plants, but it's not toxic for the human. And this is usually occur in the field in September to October. So this kind of late season disease when temperature is higher in the fields. And in and host of these pathogens is very wide, including soybean, amaranth, which pigweed is in it, and several grasses. So again, from the disease management kind of view, we might want to avoid this kind of alternate host to be used as rotation crops with hemp in the field. And as this is considered late season disease in Kentucky when the temperature is high, in Fairmont, again where the temperature in general is relatively lower than in Kentucky, this disease might not be common disease in the field in Fairmont. On to root diseases, we have pythium root rot and pythium damping off. There are two pythium species that have been reported to be associated with this disease, pythium myriathellum and pythium ultimum. This pathogen infect roots, and infected roots can turn brown, and the outer part of the root, such as the epidermis and the cortex, can slough off, leaving the inner part, which is the pits or the vascular bundle only, and making the root to look like this. We call this a red tail. Above ground symptom can be plant wilting and yellowing, and these diseases are common diseases in greenhouse as well as field. This disease can also cause reductions in plant count or stem count. Next is southern blight. This disease is caused by a fungus called Atelia rovsii. Above ground symptom can be yellowing and wilting, and white colony mycelium, as well as survival structures of this fungus. Like you can see in the picture, those orange spherical structures are actually the survival structures of this fungus called sclerosia. These fungal structures can usually be seen on the basal part of infected plant, as well as in the soil surrounding the infected plant. Okay, this southern plague symptom is usually worse when the environmental condition is wet and warm. Okay, next we have blight and canker disease. We have botrytis, canker, and botrytis tip blight. This disease is caused by botrytis cinerea, and this pathogen is also called blue mold. This pathogen is an opportunistic pathogen that can attack the weak part of the plants or the injured part of the plant. These are common in the greenhouse, especially in the mother plant. And botrytis canker itself is woody lesions, so a symptom can be lesions on the stem, and it can also usually be triggered by mechanical injuries. So preventing wound on the plant can help to prevent this disease to develop. Next, we have Fusarium canker. This disease is caused by Fusarium solani complex. Again, canker is like woody lesions, so symptom can be lesions on the wood, and usually it's first triggered by a mechanical injury. And this disease is common in the fields in Kentucky. Another Fusarium disease is Fusarium wilt. This disease is caused by Fusarium oxysporum complex. These pathogens can attack vascular tissue of the plants, interfering on the water transport from root to canopy. So above ground of the infected plant can look as yellowing and wilting. This disease is not very common in the field, but the interesting thing about this disease is Fusarium oxysporum is usually a host-specific pathogen. So currently we do not know yet where these pathogens come from in the field, where what may be the alternate host for these species of this pathogen. And there is also a study going on currently to elaborate more on this disease to ice this Fusarium oxysporum on hemp. The last disease that I'm going to be talking about here is Rhizoctonia aerial or web blight. This disease is caused by Rhizoctonia solani. Symptom can be dieback on the leaf or flowers, like you can see in the picture. A tan or off-white mycelium webbing can also be seen on the infected part, like you can see in the picture. And this can be influenced by the humidity, usually because of the plants in the field have a really dense canopy, and the plants that have really dense canopy is more likely to be infected by and to be attacked by this disease. It's not very common disease in Kentucky field. However, if this disease occur, the disease can be very severe. Okay, let's move on to the management part of hemp diseases. Again, with the limited information about the pathogen, as well as the resistant cultivar, as obviously hemp is a newly reintroduced crop, we still need to deal with the disease, either in the field or in a greenhouse. So here, the first thing, the very important thing is we have to have an accurate pathogen identifications. It is absolutely important because we have to know what we are dealing with, even we can take actions to control it. So yes, disease identifications is very important, and a lot of things that we can do with hemp diseases. We should emphasize it on the preventative treatments. Here, in terms of managing diseases in the greenhouse, sanitations can be one of the most important thing to do. Sanitation itself means keep everything clean, disinfecting tools, equipment in the field, disinfecting the greenhouse between crop cycles. Very important to minimize the transmissions or development of disease in the greenhouse. Roaching or throwing away infected disease, kind of removing infected disease from the greenhouse, can also help to minimize the inoculum levels of pathogens in the greenhouse. Make sure that our greenhouse environment is not too favorable for disease to develop. Most of the time, humidity can influence the development of disease. Here we have to make sure that the humidity in the greenhouse is not too high. Usually humidity at 70 or below is not too favorable for disease to develop. So here we can run the fan, even though it's not too hot, but it can help in kind of keep this humidity to be not too favorable for disease to develop. Soil moistures, we know that plants need waters in the greenhouse, but overwatering can be bad for the plant itself, and also can be one factors that influence disease to develop, especially diseases that caused by white mold or oomycete. So avoiding over watering can help in preventing diseases as well in the greenhouse. Air circulations, we make sure we have good air circulation in the greenhouse that can probably shorten the wet leaf leaf wetness period, in which leaf wetness is very important factors for pathogen infection, for example. And temperatures also play crucial roles on the development of plants as well as pathogens. A lot of steps or stage in pathogen life cycles are influenced by temperature. So here we have to make sure that temperature is not too favorable for disease to develop. So basically we can play around with the fan to make sure the humidity and temperature are under control and not to favor the development of diseases in the greenhouse. Plant vigor is very important to maintain plant health. Healthy plants may be more resilient to diseases and prevent wounding. Of course, we know a wound on plants can be open doors for pathogens to infect the plant. Nutrient for plants is important. Make sure we give our plants in the greenhouse with sufficient and proper nutrients, and that way they can be more healthy. And again, healthy plant can be more resilient to diseases. Insect controls can be important too. You know, insect can cause injury or damage on the plants, which in turn can open doors for pathogens to infect the plant. Fungicide here, we recommend growers in Kentucky to check with KDA, Kentucky Department of Agriculture. They maintain most updated list of fungicide that is approved for implementation on hemp. And this fungicide list can differ from state to state. So I would recommend you to check with your local agricultural agency. Managing field indices, basically we apply similar principles. Again, we want to get our plant as healthy as possible. We can start with proper site selection and site preparation to make sure that our plants are healthy. Again, healthy plants may be more resilient to diseases. Sanitations can also be done in the field by removing a source of primary inoculum. Removing infected part of plants from the fields can help in minimizing the inoculum levels in the field, and in turn can prevent the spread of the pathogens in the field environment. Proper planting distance might be helping in maintaining air circulations and the humidity that can prevent disease to develop. Again, plant vigor, can not stress enough on this. Healthy plant can be more resilient to diseases. We have to make sure that we use healthy planting materials. We minimize any wounding on plant. We give fertilizer to our plant. We control the insects, and we plant in proper timing. And these are some of the fungicides that have been approved for implementations on hemp in Kentucky. Again, I recommend you to check with your local agricultural agency to make sure that you have updated lists. And what I'm gonna talk about here is, as you can see, a lot of them, if not all of them, um, have active ingredients, either biological control agents or botanical compounds. So the utilization of this fungicide should be emphasized on the preventative treatment and not on the therapeutic treatment. So this should be applied to prevent the disease, should be applied before infection. I think that's it, and that's all. For more information, you can visit the website. I would like to thank you very much again for your attention. Thank you.